Today I want to talk about this woman, Renee Parsons. She was traveling through Bellevue, Tennessee, and all hell broke loose. You see, she decided to risk it all and pick up $1 on the ground. And that's what gave us headlines like this. I picked up $1 on the ground and nearly died. Except she didn't. And yet the media continues to fall for this story over and over and over again. And there's a psychosomatic chain reaction that's happening, causing more people down the line to believe they too have been touching something or exposed to something that was laced with fentanyl, and it made them OD. Now let's tackle this piece by piece. The first thing you need to know is there's your culprit. This right here is the dollar bill. You can see it says Renee Parsons right here, and it was the dollar bill that she picked up off the ground in this McDonald's waiting room. And there was plenty of stories about this at the time. Woman hospitalized after touching dollar bill believed to contain fentanyl is just one of many. In fact, this is a very scary story. It's very frightening stuff. Just listen to Fox 56.
This is a really scary story. A pit stop in a Nashville neighborhood takes a terrifying turn for a Lexington family.
I mean, you should be aware. Definitely don't pick money off the ground. Here she is. This is Renee explaining what happened to her, or what she thought happened to her. Stay with me.
When I walked in the McDonald's, there was a dollar bill on the ground.
And what happened next is now detailed in a Facebook post that's been shared more than 160,000 times. In her now viral post, Parsons describes how she picked up the dollar bill and put it in her pocket, later pulling it back out to show her husband.
And we got in the van, and as we started pulling away, it just hit me.
Parsons says she felt really weird, numb, and it became hard to talk, even breathe.
So she thought she had been exposed to fentanyl on this dollar bill and that she was overdosing. Haul ass to the hospital. We'll get to what happened there, what the test revealed, and everything else in just a moment. But I know you can read me. You're saying, look, it looks like you don't believe that this woman's telling the truth. Let's go to her post on Facebook. This has gone viral as hell, and it's full of interesting information. So let's go through this. Renee Parsons is with Justin Thomas Parsons. Keep in mind, Justin Thomas Parsons is a probation officer at the Kentucky Division of Probation and Parole. Please remember that. Here's what she said. This happened on Sunday, July 10th, 2022 at 4:30 p.m. Do not pick anything up off the ground. I would not typically share a personal story like this on Facebook, but I'm still in disbelief that it happened to me. Driving through Nashville, Tennessee, we needed to make a quick stop to use the bathroom. We stopped at McDonald's while I stand with my 3-month-old baby, and I wait for my husband so I could go to the bathroom. She says, I see a dollar bill on the ground. This is where it all started to go wrong. Thinking absolutely nothing of it, I picked it up. That dollar bill, friends, is, you guessed it, this one right here that I showed you. That's the one Renee Parsons picked up. Holding it in my hand, I look around and contemplate giving it to a little girl I saw. Right then, my husband comes out of the bathroom, and I throw the dollar in my pocket, hand him the baby, run to the bathroom, wash my hands. I don't dry them all the way, she says. I go to meet them and start to walk to the car a minute or so later. Pay attention. This part is very important. Meanwhile, she said, I did grab the dollar out of my pocket, held it, and put it in my car door. As I did that, I told my husband how lucky I was to find a random dollar. So right in this moment, when she's telling her husband how lucky she was to find this dollar, here's what happened. Then I grabbed a wipe to wipe off my hands because I remembered him telling me not to pick up money off the ground as people have been putting fentanyl in it. As he began to somewhat lecture me, it hit me like a ton of bricks. All of a sudden, I felt it start at my shoulders, and the feeling was quickly going down my body, and it wouldn't stop. I said, Justin, please help me. I'm not kidding. I feel really funny. She goes on to talk about heading to the hospital. But notice, it was when she realized, oh no, my husband told me not to do this, that money was being laced with fentanyl, that she realized something was wrong. It's almost as if people have seen coverage of money on the ground covered in fentanyl, and they're now scared.
We are following a breaking news alert tonight. The Perry County Sheriff's Office warns residents of money folded with fentanyl wrapped inside.
This was in Perry County, Tennessee. There were more incidents like this. This is in Orange Beach right here.
A scary situation for a family visiting Orange Beach last night.
A small child found a folded dollar bill on the ground in a crowded public parking lot. inside it the deadly drug fentanyl. That's according to Orange Beach police.
All right, so there's a lot of people who are worried about this. In fact, in June, Tennessee's Perry County Sheriff's Office, remember her husband is in law enforcement, warned about 2 incidents involving dollar bills laced with fentanyl. In both cases, the money was found on the floor of a gas station with a white powdery substance inside. This is very dangerous, folks. You see, please share and educate your children not to pick up the money. Instead of telling his children, or maybe he did that too, her husband told her, and she was scared about this. Here's the flyer when this happened. And you see this coin and the dollar bill, and you could tell that the Kyle Helton, the sheriff here of Perry County, Tennessee, was warning people about this. So it was in their head. Now, this is the most important thing you're going to hear in this video. An officer arrived to take a police report, told the couple the dollar bill was either used to store or cut drugs, or accidentally dropped, or it was purposely left there for somebody to find. So the officer's buying into this. Officers often do. They're very scared of fentanyl. However, a Metro Nashville police spokesperson later told News 2 on Monday there were no traces of fentanyl on the bill and it was taken to be destroyed, which is weird because the bill's fine. Why are you destroying it? There's no fentanyl on it. You can die from overdosing on fentanyl, sure, but ingesting a pinch of fentanyl powder is far different than if you just put it on your hand. This story from Stat News says if you have fentanyl powder on your hand for 5 or 10 minutes, it's inconceivable that would be sufficient to cause you to have an overdose. Inconceivable, says this toxicologist. That's 5 or 10 minutes. She had it for just a matter of moments against her skin, washed her hands not once, but twice, and then touched her husband for a moment. And he also thought that he had overdosed on fentanyl as well. Fentanyl cannot penetrate the skin on its own. It needs moisture. So you would have to get hit with a giant brick of fentanyl and then have somebody hit your face with a hose. And now, maybe, just maybe, you'd be in overdose territory. But people get scared, and news outlets scare people. I don't think Renee Parsons is a liar. I don't think she's a bad person. I just think a lot of people are misinformed. The media is not doing a great job of getting this story across. Tell me what you think. Do you believe her story? Do you think it really was fentanyl in this dollar bill and that she was poisoned? Do you think these stories of people like police officers just being in such close contact that they breathe the air around it and they pass out are true? Let me know in the comments. Facebook.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit that follow button. YouTube.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit subscribe. Thanks as always for watching. We'll talk to you again real soon.